This game was already over. Before the stadium lights turned on. Before the first snap. Before anyone blamed execution, effort, or momentum. Because this wasn't a football game. It was the result of decisions made months ago. White heavy check mark. Most fans will remember the score. Some will remember a few plays. Almost no one will remember why this outcome was inevitable. We're taught to believe games are decided on the field. But the NFL doesn't work that way. What you watched was the final chapter. The story ended long before kickoff. White heavy check mark on the surface, it looked simple. One team played faster. One team looked more prepared. One team took control early. Analysts called it execution. Fans called it momentum. Social media called it an upset. That explanation is comfortable. And completely wrong. This channel isn't about highlights or hot takes. If you're here to understand how games are really decided, subscribe. White heavy check mark. This game was a system colliding with its own limits. One organization building forward. The other refusing to change direction. Not because of talent. Not because of effort. But because of philosophy. You don't lose playoff games in January. You lose them in April. In March. In meetings fans never see. White heavy check mark. Pittsburgh didn't lose because someone missed a tackle. They lost because their margin for error was already gone. When a system prioritizes stability over evolution, it stays competitive, but never dangerous. The Steelers don't collapse. They stall. Same structure. Same decision-making logic. Same ceiling. And every season, the league moves forward. While they convince themselves consistency is enough. This game didn't expose a bad performance. It exposed a capped future. White heavy check mark. Nothing about this loss felt shocking. Because nothing about it was new. Predictable offense. Conservative adjustments. Reactive football instead of proactive planning. That's not a game day issue. That's an organizational habit. And habits don't change under pressure. They reveal themselves. White heavy check mark. Houston won. But that doesn't mean they arrived. Early success is seductive. It convinces teams they're ahead of schedule, when they're really just ahead of expectations. This win will be celebrated, marketed, packaged as proof. But the NFL is full of teams that won early, and paid for it later. The question isn't if Houston is good. It's whether they understand why they won. Most coverage stops at the scoreboard. If you want the story that starts before kickoff, this is where it's told. White heavy check mark. If you only look at the scoreboard, you miss the lesson. This wasn't about dominance. It was about direction. One team knows where it's going. The other keeps choosing not to ask. That's how games get decided before kickoff. White heavy check mark. We're told football is chaos. That anything can happen. That's marketing. The NFL is structured, controlled, predictable at the organizational level. Chaos exists inside the system, not outside of it. And systems don't panic. They perform exactly as designed. White heavy check mark. This game will fade from memory. The decisions behind it won't. Because next season, we'll have the same conversations, the same excuses, the same shock, and the system will keep winning. White heavy check mark. Stop thinking about players. Stop thinking about moments. Start thinking about systems. Because this game was decided long before kickoff. If this changed how you see the game, stay here. More stories like this are coming.